Hey guys, it's Matt. This was sent in to me not long ago. There's a lot to make fun of and look at here. Y'all be happy to know that the Sphere Experience is now open in Las Vegas. There's even more things to waste time and money on in Las Vegas, and this seems to be their ode to technology, their god to the technological wonders that they have coming to put us all into a digital hell.
A visit to the Sphere begins with what we call the Atrium Experience. We're obviously in the magnificent atrium, but part of the Sphere Experience begins right here. We have various activation points around here that really start with, say, the rings of time that run from one end of the atrium to the next. We want to convey the role of science and technology in humankind, in the evolution of human culture, and what the role is between humans influencing technology and science, and vice versa.
Remember in a recent video, for some reason, we were looking at people stuck in the airport and they couldn't get out, sleeping in the terminals, I think because there was like 1 inch of snow, and they interviewed that guy, and the guy's like, I just want to get out to Las Vegas to see shows. I just need to get out with the family to see shows. And so I was inspired recently to look and see, well, what shows are out there other than this digital hell they're offering up, all this new stuff like the Sphere? Well, believe it or not, other than all the Cirque du Soleil and the stuff that's old, Blue Man Group is still there. The same magicians the ones that work with the demons, the magicians that are working with the demons are there. Wayne Newton is still there. He's in his 80s. Who would spend 1 cent? Sorry, let's get into what we were going to talk about here. The Sphere and their ode to the digital hell that's coming to all of us in a theater near you. Quick note, guys, the main part of the Sphere is a gigantic concert amphitheater venue. And I think we'll look at the Wikipedia, but I think they advertise 16K resolution on the screens. Makes like an IMAX look like a Nickelodeon in 1925. But why would you need the screens if you're there to see a concert? See, this is what they put on Wikipedia. It looks like, as usual, the ultimate Not-Nelk puppet creep, Bono and The Edge and U2 kicked off the concert experience, it looks like, at the Sphere. Why would I'm there to see the person perform, right? Am I there to look at the screens? If I was there to look at the screens, Bono could be back in Belfast. He could be at some bar in Belfast. I could go to the Sphere and watch him on the screens. Can't the egregore get Bono to jump around and move around enough so I can see the real... Boy, he's not a real person. I take that back. Who knows? Michael, are you still defending Bono? Michael, are you still defending Bono? Come on, man. This Bono's a creep. But I'm there to see the whatever's in the flesh. It's not the same spiritual entity that we are. Why do I care about the screens? So if we look at this picture, just like most concerts, people are essentially watching the concert through their screen on their phone. But most people are basically watching this concert through the screen at the Sphere. So it's a double screen experience. The person taking in the concert through the screen on the phone, but what are they taking a picture of? Another screen. It's a double. There's no reason for whatever that entity is, Bono, to be in the flesh at all, or is egregore to be supporting him out there with energy. I got to go back to this for a second. I didn't look at the picture closely. I just kind of dragged it in to fill that spot after whatever I dragged in. Chris Angel. I'm looking at it closely. I'm like, what is that? It's a recent picture of Wayne. That's Tattoo. That is Tattoo from Fantasy Island. If there wasn't like the major height difference, I would say it's got to be the same thing, the same entity. Look, I'll do it for you. Depleted. That is gotta be. He starred on Fantasy Island, then he went to Vegas, but he's been on Vegas for 4 or 5 decades before Fantasy Island.
For all types of fun experiences in the performance pool. Here is one of our fascinating personalities we refer to as Aura. Hi, Aura. In our Atrium Experience, Aura is interactive.
Forget chatbots. Come chat with some real bots.
One of the things that we wanted to convey was, what does the future of technology look like as it relates to humankind? And is it there to serve? Does technology serve humankind? Some science fiction people will say maybe the opposite might be true someday. You know, not so sure about that. But we thought that having Aura, our custom designed robots, automata, helps convey the power of science and technology, not only in the Sphere Experience in our atrium, but also helps explain the journey of humankind in that regard.
Hello, viewers of More on Fox 5.
Guys, this robot called Aura that they rolled out at the Sphere that people can, I guess, walk up and chat with, what does it remind you of? Isn't it like the same exact type of robot? What's that, the crystalline entity from Star Trek? It's like the same thing as that Sophia. Remember they made it a Saudi Arabian citizen and all that creepy shit when Donald Trump was putting his hands on that glowing ball in Saudi or in Riyadh? That piece of shit comes off the same assembly line as Sophia. And guys, let's get more serious for a moment. They make this shit pathetic on purpose. Okay, they roll it out that this is the height of technology. But people deep down, when they interact with this thing, you see how kind of pathetic it was? He said, "Hi, Aura." And like 2 seconds later, it was like, "Hi." And then he didn't realize it was going to say hi. And he turned around. Maybe I'll show that to you again. But it's supposed to be the height of technology. But deep down, people are seeing this and they're subconscious and saying, we have nothing to worry about. This technology sucks. It's some dumb, he called it himself an automaton. I mean, you can say, "Hi, Aura," and it'll say hi back. "Are you enjoying your time in the philosophy?" I guess people know it's pathetic. Now, here's the thing. It's made to be pathetic so people aren't concerned about the technology that's coming. They have something right now, I guarantee you, that could blow this thing away. That would really creep you out, but they know people aren't ready for it. They're evil genius and in the extreme. They introduce the technology slowly. People first go the Sphere. "Oh, did you see the robot Aura?" "Yeah, it was." "Oh, this." People talk about the AI taking over the world. It's not even close. They know this Aura thing was just stupid. I said to Aura some basic. "Aura, do you like oranges?" And she said, "I'm a robot. I don't eat oranges." They know it's presented and it's on purpose to be pathetic, because presenting what they really have, people would run out of the damn Sphere screaming in terror. Guys, I don't know how clear that last segment was. They don't show you what they really have. They're holding back, in my opinion, 95%. They show you something like Aura that's pathetic on purpose, so people aren't scared of the technology. So they warm up to it slowly. In terms of what they really have, we don't know, but we could have fun with it. Potentially that is what they really have. What are you suggesting, Matt? I'm suggesting Wayne Newton died in 1965, and what you've seen performing is the AI bot cybernetic organism that they really have. Well, you know I'm kidding, but I'm just making a point. They show you 5%, so people warm up to it, that the technology is just friendly, and it's there for you, and it'll never turn or become a problem. Whenever we joke about how they plan, and this is such a first grade way of talking about it, a pedestrian way of explaining something in this reality that's basically unexplainable. Everything is not planned out by these meetings in the back room, but this is the only way to wrap our head around it. At some point, Matt, every idea has to be put forth, right? Not necessarily. We'll talk about that some other time, but it's just also a fun way of doing it, back to one of Bill's probably original and most famous poster. Just for fun, assuming some of this stuff is planned out, who has the update on the robot we're presenting in the new Sphere in Las Vegas? See, we all control everything. We own all the hotel casinos. We own all the corporations. Who among you has an update for me, the Baphomet, the Master of Ceremonies, as to our main attraction for the Sphere when there's not a concert venue going on, when Bono can't be performing? We still want the great unwashed to come out and see the attractions of the Sphere so we can apply our 16K screen mind control. Who has an update? Yes, you, the new intern. We have what? You've designed the new robot. It's going to interact with the public. Excellent, excellent. It's going to look like the demon creature at the end of the Tom Cruise movie Legend, and you've given it the full capabilities of everything that OpenAI can bring forth, the Gemini, the ChatGPT 4.0, the Bard. You've given it full LLM capabilities, so as some sort of demon, it can outwit anybody that stands before it. No. We don't want to show all our cards now, do we? Well, sir, there's kind of a problem. What's the problem? Well, Sphere opens in 4 or 5 weeks. We have the demon creature with the 500 IQ all ready to go, and we have nothing to replace it with. Get that piece of shit Sophia robot that we gave to Saudi Arabia 8 or 9 years ago. Well, sir, she was a one-of-the-kind prototype. There's nothing rolling off any manufacturing. There's no Sophia 2.0 that we can go get. I didn't say get another one. I said get the one the Saudis have. I'm tired of them using it as a sex doll. Go get that piece of shit, paint it gray, and put it in the Sphere. Look at that thing. That ain't nothing but the original Saudi Sophia from 6 or 7 years ago with a gray paint job. That's the original Saudi Arabian sex doll. They went and took it from King Faisal in Jeddah. Said, you can't have it anymore. Time to put it in the Sphere. They gave it a little bit of an upgrade, the way you would say put a new car stereo in your car. The mechanics of the face probably can create a more legitimate smile. They updated the basic 7th grade ChatGPT program that's dumbed down and governed down so she can give a little bit better responses than that idiot robot that they gave to Saudi 6 or 7 years ago. But this is still, guys, the point is simple. Jokes aside, they're not even close to showing us what they have. And when people go to the Sphere, oh, this is the apex or pinnacle of technology today, when it's 95% off what that apex really looks like. It's the demon creature from Legend is what they could roll forth. And it would be so smart and so witty, it could convince you were standing in front of a demon. Then nobody would come in the Sphere. Everybody would run out in terror. Sphere, also called Sphere at the Venetian Resort, is a music and entertainment arena in Paradise, Nevada. Paradise, I guess the Las Vegas Strip, guys, is so overbuilt. It's expanding out like how Pachysandra gets out of control. They now pushed into what was called Paradise. It was nothing but a few horned frogs 20 years ago. Now it's all expanded out like Pachysandra, and it'll just keep expanding out to the whole state as one big entertainment venue. Sorry. Designed by Populous, the spherical project was announced by the Madison Square Garden Company in 2018, known as the MGM Sphere, blah, blah, blah. The 18,600-seat auditorium is being marketed for its immersive video and audio capabilities, which include a 16K resolution wraparound interior LCD mind control screen, speakers with beamforming and wave field synthesis mind control technologies. It doesn't really say that part, guys, but it should. And 4D physical effects. What the hell's can it jerk you off? What is a 4D physical effect in some sort of concert? When you go, what are they going to show Mr. T in Rocky 3? Go back to the 80s, and as if he misses Rocky, he punches you in the face. Is that a 4D physical effect? That scares me. What's a physical effect? Whatever. The venue's exterior also features 580,000 square feet of LED mind control displays. Oh no. Sphere measures 366 feet, 3 sixes high, and 500. There's no 33. Where's the 33? And 516 feet wide. The arena costs there's your 666. 2 divided by 3. The arena costs $2.3 billion, making it by far the most expensive entertainment venue ever built in Las Vegas. Sphere opened on September 20. Oh no. It opened on September 29th, 2023. September's the 9th month. 9 plus 9, 10, 11. You don't think, yeah, I do. It's how they do business. Now, what are the chances it's just a coincidence? 0. Opened with Irish rock band U2 and those puppet creeps beginning a 40-show residency called U2 UV Octon Baby Live at Sphere in from Belfast. Director Darren blah 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 blah. A 40-show residency. What is that? Oh, don't degrade the term residency where a young doctor's trying to learn the hospital. Residency. Oh, just because 40 shows they played at that damn thing? No, there wouldn't be a not-milk puppet told what to do and when to do it. No, Bono makes his own decisions, and his charity is completely legitimate, with 99% going back into the charity. Now, guys, when the Not Milk highlights its technology and tries to show off before the great unwashed, of course the magenta presentation will come. But I thought it would be much larger. I really did. I mean, this was the second image that Wikipedia showed me, a gigantic magenta sphere. It has the ability to change and adapt, and it's probably a gigantic LCD screen that can do almost anything. I thought the magenta presentation would be a lot larger. But even in the video I showed that highlighted that rip-off Sophia doll, whatever it's called, Aura, the Aura robot, there was magenta behind her, but it certainly wasn't as much as I thought. And the inside of the sphere doesn't just reek of magenta. It reeks of like a bluish gray, which I thought was interesting. But how much magenta can this Not Milk possibly put forth? I mean, with the Super Bowl, it is just so much in our face. I mean, even regular people might start asking questions if it was that over the top. I don't know. There's so many LCD screens inside the sphere. I mean, they can flash or change colors whenever they want. If anybody's screaming at me right now, I can kind of hear you. Matt, whatever the magenta is, it can ride on a carrier wave because they have these 16K technological screens that are just the height of the LCD technology. They can, whatever they're going to do with the magenta, they can put on a wave that it's undetectable. They don't even have to show you the magenta anymore for people to get the message of the magenta, whatever that means. But 16K screens did catch my attention in Wikipedia because I assure you, I'm no expert. I'm not an ophthalmologist or an optometrist, whatever that is. But I assure you, the human eyes cannot differentiate anything past 4K. Just can't. I mean, okay, 1080i, that was pretty crystal clear HD. 720 was pretty good. Okay, 4K, can you see a little bit of a difference? Oh, it looks nice, but can you really see a difference between 4K and 8K? No. And if there is any differentiation between 4K and 8K, there is none after 8K. So with all that extra capacity, 8K to 16K, what is in the background that is now becoming imperceptible to human eyes? What's being presented that's imperceptible? I mean, that does, that should concern you a bit. Well, what about 32K? It's all this extra capacity, or I believe it's actually what they say. It is that many pixels. But when so much of it is undetectable by the human eyes, then what's actually filtering through to the subconscious and things like that? I doubt anybody can really tell a difference past 4K, but that's just me. Background. The project, known then as MSG Sphere, was announced February in 2018. The project was initially a partnership, Madison Square Garden Company, Las Vegas Sands Corporation. Sphere is just off the Las Vegas Strip and east of the Venetian Resort, which was owned by Las Vegas Sands, blah, blah. Las Vegas Sands contributed the 18-acre site for the project. Apollo Global Management purchased the Venetian in 2022 and became MSG's new partner. Guys, it just screams of not Nilk. I mean, our friends and family, it's all just private investors, Matt, and people taking risks, and people on Wall Street that wage risk versus reward. Don't you know, Matt? It's risk versus reward. Everything's always the old Roman. Everything's Apollo and Gemini and Apollo Global Management. Is anybody surprised? It's endlessly the old Roman and the Saturn V rocket. Everything goes back to the old Greek and Roman, just endlessly. Nobody around us cares. Nobody around us thinks there's anything strange about it. When we bring it up, we're just one of those people. Apollo Global Management. Somebody's screaming at me. I can hear you saying, Matt, whenever you see these old Roman terms, that's the old money. That's the old money that owns trillions, that owns half of Vanguard. Half of the Vanguard funds is the old money. It's the Vanderbilts and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. People just think all the old money just went away. My friend Tony says, Matt, they missed the heirs of that inherited all the wealth mismanaged it in every single case when all they had to do was keep it in the bank. And they each of the old families, if they did nothing more than get bank returns, savings accounts returns, would be worth 1 to 3 trillion each, let alone missing little things like the internet. They own the Fidelity Magellan Fund. Guys, this is not, when you see these types of projects putting forth not Nilk agendas, you know this. Nobody took a risk to build this and put up their own money. And come on, sir. This screams of the not Nilk. What about C the V in 2020? What about that little shutdown of the world for a year and a half? That didn't affect the project. Oh, there was a delay, Matt. It would have flushed the project if the world were real. Once the not Nilk decides something like this, a technological presentation to put and implant ideas into the minds of all the great unwashed that wandered through the double doors from the 113 degrees outside to the 65 degrees air conditioning inside, to implant the idea into the minds of creative beings that this technology is good and it's coming and it's wonderful, where anybody inside the sphere should say, well, we've been giving us technology for the past 50 years that have been somewhat same as this, and it hasn't improved my life at all. In fact, somebody should raise their hand before that Aura robot. This type of shit has made my life difficult. My life's getting worse as they roll out their technology. So why should I think this horse shit presentation is going to make my life better when the last 50 years made it worse? Here's a little emerald green and magenta presentation of one of the little exhibits at the Sphere. It was on just for a few seconds in what I played. I want to call your attention to the top left, where there it says 197 age expectancy or life expectancy. and it counts up very quickly in the clip I showed, like 195, 6, 7. I guess it goes over 200. And all the dummies that wander into the sphere, they paid the $30, the $40 to get into the sphere, whatever. The not know would, just to make sure people got in there, real spiritual beings got in there. If they had to make it free, they'd make it free. But in order, people pay a lot for it. They think they're getting something rewarding and worthwhile, like going to see Hamilton. The more you pay, the more you kind of fool yourself into believing you saw something worthwhile. I guess they want people to stop in front of this little exhibit and covet that people in the future's life expectancy is expected to go over 200. And they'll say, honey, come look at this. It says here in the future, the life expectancy, you see 197 age expectancy up top, it'll be close to 200 years. Aren't they so lucky, the people that will live in the future? Well, two things should be said back to the spouse. It'll never happen. The kids should scream it. If the kids heard the parents talking from behind, they should say, first off, who'd want to live to that age in this technological hell? Maybe little Johnny will scream that at the parents. Who would want to live to that age in this technological hell that they're building? And second of all, Dad, why do you believe that they're ever going to live to 197 in the future when that's exactly what they said about our era and our particular period of time in the 50s and 60s and 70s? So as they've brought all these technological breakthroughs, making your phone, which was once the size and weight of a cinder block, down to like the head of a pin, they've done that with phones, but you've heard me say this a million times, but it can't be said enough. What have they done in terms of life expectancy? We've talked about medical cures. What have they done in terms of life expectancy? They said the same thing in 1950. In the year 2024, people will live to 95 to 120 easily. Life expectancy. You know what's happened to it? Squat. Absolutely squat. Now, if it's so wonderful to live so long, I could care less about living more than what is considered to be my natural age. Don't want one extra day. Neither does Greg. Don't want to go, Matt, then why don't you throw yourself up? I'm not going to do anything now. I would like to live out the rest of my life, but I assure you, I don't want one extra day. Well, Matt, you'll think different when you get there. No, I won't. Neither does Greg, and neither do a lot of you. Nobody's going to stop at this exhibit if you're people like us and covet that the damn dummy in the future is going to live to almost 200. But again, what should be pointed out and the dummy should realize is they promised that, I don't want it, but they promised that to us now for those that would reach 2024. And you know what we've gotten by way of mortality tables and the life insurance tables and over? Nothing. It's the same. It's actually worse. It's actually gone down. But there's no evil, sinister thing here. You'd have to be one of those people to believe that. So in summary, this Not Milk has been consistent in how it's shown its robots to the people with human characteristics. This, more than anywhere else, is where it holds back, in my opinion. It's always very friendly, but not just friendly because it's friendly because it's dumb, friendly because it's not a threat. Thank you for making me citizen of Saudi Arabia. Nobody sees that and thinks it could get out of control, and nobody's worried about that. At least now, what's going on in other areas is a lot darker, and the image generation, and we'll talk about that some other time. But when they show you a robot with human characteristics, it's the same usual dumbed down presentation. I believe they could do a lot more with this, but they know that a super highly intelligent, almost cynical robot with an IQ double yours that tries to get under your skin, that would creep people out. And I was going to say, and people could start pushing back, but I don't think they'll ever push back. We'll do a whole video on it sometime. No matter what happens, when will people say from the Illuminati card game, pull out their Illuminati card game deck with the Donald Trump face, enough is enough? I mean, we're not trying to fix society, and we need to worry about yourself and all that, but in general, our attitude is enough is enough, and we saw enough 15 years ago to say stop all of this. It's one of our biggest frustrations with the people around us. When will they just say stop this? All of this technology, whatever you see in the sphere, all of it is unnecessary. Not one person in that sphere will probably consider all this push for the next thing, the next screen, and how is this improving our lives? It never translates into an improvement in anybody's life, and nobody stops for a second to ask the basic types of questions that we ask every day. It is quite frustrating, folks, to get out of bed in the morning at times. I hear you. But who said, I feel your pain? Was that Bill Clinton? Well, in this case, I feel your pain. Thanks for listening.